And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Shaping Success Morning Coffee. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, quick question for you, and you can just respond or let me know in another message. Talked to my friend Jay quite a bit, and he's probably listened to this, but he said that the sound is a little bit low on YouTube. And, you know, navigating through this system that I have that I still haven't quite gotten figured out. What's up, Nikki? Over on YouTube. It seems as though that like the volume is a little bit lower if you're listening to it on the podcast. So I'm just trying to figure out if that bothers you, and I'm going to have to figure out how to turn the gain up on this stupid Rodecaster. I call it stupid because it's so smart that I'm stupid, maybe. But anyway, morning coffee. Super cool to be here with you guys in the morning. I have enjoyed doing this, and I kind of wonder like if I start repeating things over and over again, but this is kind of how life goes for me. I am pretty repetitive in the way that I think about things, and I think that a lot of times people don't realize that you have to be telling yourself the same things over and over again in order to believe in what you're doing. And you have to have that self-belief in the fact that no matter what you do, the right thing's going to happen. And you know in your mind that it's the right thing, right? So I'm sorry if it's glitching wherever it's glitching. Hopefully that will get better. One of the things that we're going to have to work on is getting the internet connection a little bit better here. And that might take a little bit of work. It's funny. I have Starlink, and it's the only thing out here. And I started thinking about it the other day. I was talking to my friend, and love or hate Elon Musk, he does a lot of things, and like he doesn't quit and he doesn't stop. He just keeps going over and over again, like with these cars and with the Tesla truck and with these rockets that land themselves and all this stuff. Like, you got to give it to him because the guy tries to do it over and over again, but there's always something goofy about some of his things that he does. And they're talking about this Tesla truck that came out and like how it's not perfect. And you remember when if you know about the Tesla truck, he went out and he was demonstrating it like 2 years ago when they were getting ready to start it and do it. And he threw a brick at the bulletproof glass, and the brick broke the glass. So it's just kind of funny how that is how it kind of goes with him. So Starlink, I kind of think of it that way. It's like, it shows me that I have all this power, and it's a really good idea, and it's supposed to be really good, but it's not that great all the time. Just with anything in life, you know. I don't even think it's just Starlink in general. I think just like internet services that way. But for this type of thing, for live streaming, the best thing is a hard connection, which I went through, and I had the house wired so that I had a hard connection to the router, and it still isn't that great. So we're streaming right now, and sometimes that streaming, if you don't know much about Wi-Fi, it isn't as stable as a hard connection. So I don't even think we're going to get that exact hard connection anyway, because we're not plugged right into the box like you were with a cable internet or something like that. So anyway, just an observation about old Mr. Musk. We're trying something different here. I've got the TikTok kind of like off to the right here so I can see it a little bit better and monitor it. But I wanted to talk to you, like I said, like I was talking about earlier, is like this confidence that you have to have. And again, like these will get repetitive, but the fact of the matter is that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're working on, you have to be a broken record in your head about your beliefs in yourself. Trying to be better no matter what, you have to believe that it's going to happen in yourself. You can't, that quote, you know, if you believe it, you can achieve it, is totally true. Because if you have that negative self-talk in your mind, you're not going to get better at what you're doing. You're not going to achieve something because it's just not the way that it works. having negative thoughts and not believing that it's going to happen is you're going to not have your whole heart into it. And you have to understand that no matter what you do, no matter what is going on, you have to be willing to put your full effort in it. And that's why I like some of these quotes so much, like, John Wooten, like how he talks about doing the best you can no matter what, and just being okay with leaving that. Like, if you're not successful, it's okay because you did everything you could to reach that goal, to be successful. And it starts with believing in yourself. It starts with having that self-confidence that what you're doing is the correct thing. And I've been going back and forth about that. And I started to decide that this situation, yesterday we made a choice. And essentially it's betting on myself, betting on what's going on, betting on my ability, and knowing that no matter what I do, I'm going to do everything I can to keep that going. So you walk away with that feeling that you have a great thing ahead of you. But once you stop believing in the path of where you're going, that's when things start to unfold and unravel. So I want to talk about that, just like believing in yourself, believing in your goals, believing in the things that you're doing. You cannot achieve those things without doing the work. Okay. So even when it seems tough, you still have to have that belief that what you're doing is the right thing. So, a couple things that we could talk about, a couple quotes, just going through this, looking at this. Let's see if we can find a good one here. I started rolling through some of these quotes, and this is something that this is Dean Cain. So those of you who know me know that I'm like a huge Superman fan. And so Dean Cain, whether you like his political views or the way that I think that's the big thing that he's big about right now, is he's pretty high on Twitter talking about a lot of politics and things like that. But he was Superman. So let's get past that part and talk about this. Always believe in yourself and keep going. You don't have to have the most talent in the world. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. If you persist and you persist and you persist, you will be successful. A lot of times we get lost in the fact that we don't get it on the first try. I think back to trampoline when I was a kid, right? There's a lot of people who get on there and they're like, the cool thing to do is a flip, right? And the shape of your body or the way that you do things, like there's certain things that will stop you from being able to do that. You may not be athletic, you may not be whatever, but it's hard to land a front flip. And my friends were a little bit skinnier than me, a little bit shorter than me. You could get flipped around quick enough on a trampoline and land on your feet, or, like where I would like overpower it, but you'd have to practice. You didn't get it on the first try. And over and over and over again, you tried to do it, right? Until you got it, or you quit. And if you quit, you never achieved it. Well, it's funny. I remember vividly doing a backflip, because for those of you who don't know, it's a little bit scarier to do a backflip, but it's easier to land than a front flip for some weird reason. It's just the geometry of the way that you do it. You have to be really close to the edge, but when you flip, doing a backflip, you land in the middle of the trampoline, versus when you're doing a front flip, you pretty much have to flip your body. It's just weird the way that it works. But it's scarier than shit doing a backflip, because you're going backwards and you think about your neck and there's just all these weird things. But when you do it, when you try and do it, excuse me, the first time I kind of freaked out and didn't go wholehearted and landed on my back. The second time I did it, I completely flipped around as fast as I could and almost overdid it. But the third time I landed it. And then every single time after that, I'm not going to go. This 43-year-old ass isn't going to get up there and try and do it again. But it's crazy how when you're scared about doing something and then you just stick to it. And then when you stick it, when you land it, when you get it, when you make that happen, it's crazy. So will flip out, but that's about it. There's a really funny Adam Sandler skit on his last recording. You know, like when I was a kid, They're All Gonna Laugh at You, which, you know, he was on Saturday Night Live and he did it with like David Spade and Rob Schneider and all those guys. And in the last one, he was talking about, man, I really just want to pop a flip, you know, and it is pretty funny. You'll have to go check that out. But the reality is the persistence in that situation. Think about like learning how to ride a bike. If you can ride a bike, what did you do? You continued to do it over and over again. I remember helping my daughter learn how to ride a bike and how I can't do it. What is up, Brenda, over on TikTok? She was very persistent in, like, there was times where she argued with her and I lost patience. For those of you who know that I was a PE teacher, like I lose patience with the little ones because they give up so easy, and the older ones kind of have some skill already. And so my patience level with young kids is not as high as with older kids. But my wife, who has a lot more patience than I do, got her to be able to do it. When she first learned how to ride her bike, she was crying all the way down the road as she was pedaling just fine on the bike. It was kind of funny. So she was persistent though, right? She tried over and over again. And I think that we lose that persistence as we get older. We lose that chance of not being willing to try again. Let's see if we can find it. Here's a good one this is from John Bon Jovi. Because a lot of times I think that we forget that we're dreamers. And I think of this is funny this is how my mind works. Like if you really think about it, like if you've ever seen the movie Uncle Buck with John Candy, and I'm dating myself again. Like, you know, I just turned 43 a couple days ago. But he's sitting in the principal's office and the principal is telling him that I don't know, I can't remember how old she is. She's really young, like maybe 5 or 6, and she's a dreamer, and she's talking about silly things and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And John Candy looks at her and goes, I don't know of a 5-year-old that doesn't dream and doesn't think about things and doesn't pretend. And if there is, then that's a problem, right? And dreaming is something that you need to do. So you need to believe in love, believe in magic. Hell, believe in Santa Claus, believe in others, believe in yourself, believe in your dreams. If you don't, who will? It starts from within. It starts from within. You have to believe that what you are doing is right. If no one else believes in that, then how is it going to happen? If you cannot believe in yourself, it starts with you. If you can't have that self-confidence, what's going to happen? It's never going to work out. You have to remember that you have to have that self-confidence. I thought you said something else first. Again, you guys can tap your questions on YouTube. I'm seeing them a little bit better here right now. We also have a chat on YouTube. If you want to go hang out on YouTube, go to Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley. Make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell, get that in there. Okay. Awesome, Brenda. Your birthday is Friday. We both in December. Let's see. Who else has something? It's funny because I scroll through these quotes looking for someone that I know that I want to hear what they have to say. And there's probably some that I miss. A little Jason Statham there. Let's see. It honestly, like, let's see what Paris Hilton has to say. This is a funny one. Paris Hilton. You guys think of Paris Hilton. The first thing I think about is she's actually become a pretty successful person. But you think about that show that she did with Nicole Richie. Again, date myself. How many of you actually know what that is? But you don't think of her as a very intelligent person when you see some of the stuff that they talk about. But you know, this one relates to ladies, and I think that this relates to males as well. But it's like, I think it's important for girls to be confident, believe in yourself, and everyone's hot. it goes back to what people's perception, right? Like you can perceive yourself as something that you're not, but other people perceive you as something else. And everyone is completely different. Everyone has different tastes. Everyone likes different things. And having that confidence that you are intelligent, that you are good looking, that you have things going for you self-confidence is very important. So everyone is hot. I think that's as much as that's kind of a dense thing. It's like you have to believe that or you're never going to have that self-confidence that you're looking for. It starts with you. It starts from within. Hotness is subjective. Exactly. I mean, here's the thing. Like it's we look at it as like a physical thing, right? But the reality is that there are so many things that can be physically attractive about someone, but then all they have to do is say something, and it's like that just become the ugliest person in the world. I don't know why my life always like everything that I think of like relates to either a movie or something that I saw or something that makes me think about it, but it's like Shallow Hal, if you haven't seen that movie before. Let me know if you've seen Shallow Hal. So Shallow Hal is Jack Black, right? And he gets like him and Jason Alexander, the guy from Seinfeld, are at a club in the beginning, and they're looking at all these chicks, and they're like trying to dance with all these really beautiful looking women. And there's some other women that are not like, you know, model looking or whatever in the corner, but they're really nice people or whatever. And so he's going through life here and there trying to just like being shallow, right? Because that's it. It's like only going after the hot ones or only going after, you know, this certain type, right? And so he goes and he gets in the elevator with Tony Robbins, and he's having a conversation with Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins hypnotizes him so that he can't see physical beauty, but he can see the mental, or he can see the person for who they really are, not what they look like. And so he ends up falling in love with this gal who is like really overweight, but a very nice person, and doesn't realize that who it is because he only sees the beauty within. It's pretty crazy though to think about that. Like if we go into things thinking of life that way, there are a lot of things that we miss out on because we judge a book by its cover instead of really getting to know who that person is. So it's crazy. There's so many tools and tricks and things that you can use to make things better for yourself, but the real big one is believing in yourself. So you can find one more and then we'll call it. I'm going to see if I can find, there's multiple of these. We'll see page number 2. Nope, no thanks. I'm probably missing some good ones because I'm just looking for ones of people that I know. Sorry for the silence. I'm looking for a good one. We need a good one. This is a good one right here. And I don't know if you prefer, this is about sports, right? Because I relate a lot of things to sports. Jimmy Garoppolo, who is Tom Brady's backup, because I'm going to relate this more to Tom Brady. But I mean, you have to have confidence in yourself. And it's funny how you think about, like, as I was going through sports, you think about the people who are cocky. There has to be some arrogance in order to be able to be good at something and believe in yourself, right? These guys are the epitome of believing in themselves, right? As a quarterback, you always have to believe in yourself. You always know you can do things, right? You have to be willing to know that you can complete that pass, that you can do the work, that you have to be the leader of that team. You have to be the most arrogant person on that field and have that self-confidence that you can do it. Because if you don't have that, then other people see it and they will not be willing to follow you. So that is something that is very, very important. That's why you have to have that self-confidence. And if you want to be a leader, you have to be willing to just have this exude from you, the confidence of what it takes to make it happen no matter what. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. I want you to remember that today, okay? Remember that no matter what, you have to have the belief in what you are doing. Because if you do not have that belief in yourself, it will never happen, okay? It will never happen. So it starts with you. So look within, be ready to face those challenges head on, and know that no matter what you do, whether you fail or whether you succeed, you're going to go do it again, okay? Have that arrogance today. I give you the strength to do that. I give you the okay to go ahead and just be cocky today. All right? Be arrogant about who you are. And just go out there and kick some ass. All right? Thanks for hanging out again for this morning coffee with me. If you want to help support the show, go join Patreon. You can link that. You can find that anywhere. Go to westankersley.com. Join Patreon. Subscribe to the YouTube Shaping Success with Wes Tankersley. Comment, like, share. Help me get the word out there. Until next time, I challenge you to find the shape of your success.